Welcome back to Jersey Matters. We continue our conversation with Dennis Drazin, the chair and CEO of Monmouth Park Racetrack. We've left the William Hill Race and Sports Bar because the sports book is going to be much, much bigger than just that.
Yes, we anticipate very large crowds. The sports bar we were just in holds about 300. In our grandstand here, we can accommodate 7,500 people.
So all of this is going to be a sports book?
This whole area is going to be a sports book. And this whole area will have furniture so people can come here and they can engage in sports betting. They can stay and pay the in-play portion. So it's not just betting on a game before it starts, it's continuing to have action, as they say, during the pendency of the game.
So you have the William Hill, you have now this sports book with 7,500 people. This is where the grandstand is. Anything else?
Yes, contractually, William Hill has an obligation to now build out a $5 million plus Las Vegas style sports book on our clubhouse side, and then there will be some kiosks in different areas of the property.
Wow.
So we're all in on sports.
Yeah, you're ready. Let's take a walk back inside. When we're going in, you still have a fight though. You're going to be taking on some of the professional teams, right?
We are. So when the litigation was filed, and when we got ready to start taking bets in 2014, we were shut down, and now we're 3.5 years later, and the league's acting in bad faith. While they're trying to stop us, they're out aggressively supporting sports betting because they're doing fantasy sports, they're playing games in areas where they take bets. They go to London, they moved an NHL team to Vegas, they voted 31-1 to move the Oakland Raiders to Vegas. And all this time, they're swearing to the court that sports betting is evil and it's the integrity of the game that's at risk here. And while they're trying to stop us by selectively enforcing it against Monmouth Park, they're out getting ready to capitalize on a revenue share.
Well, I can see that you're ready for this fight. Let's talk about in here real quick. I did a quick count. Is 40 screens?
Approximately. About.
Yeah, and so you've had this ready to go.
We've had this ready to go, and we have another 50 outside, and there will be odds boards, and there will be video boards too. We're going to, expand the areas to make it comfortable for people. This will be,
and correct me if I'm wrong, this will be your biggest moneymaker, the sports book now.
Sports book, I think so.
By far?
Hopefully.
It seems that way. I mean, if you listen to everybody, Mark Cuban said, for instance, and he owns the Dallas Mavericks, he's on Shark Tank, everybody knows that. He said that the value of every professional franchise has just doubled overnight.
I think he's absolutely right. I think the league should all be thanking me and sending me Christmas cards. What we've done is in a legalized... By the way, you can use that in your case, can't you? The fact that he says that. Yeah. In a sense, when now there's going to be active sports betting that's legalized throughout the country, people are going to be more engaged in games. They're going to be watching more. The leagues are going to be able to profit more. Their revenue's going to go way up. I mean, Mark is absolutely right. The value of the leagues, the value of the individual teams, they've all gone up.
What about the value of this place?
The value of this place, I'm sure, has increased also. But as you know, this is state land. We lease from the state. We have a 40-year lease. So we're going to be operating here for a long time.
I wasn't talking about your lease. You don't want to speculate on how much the value of Monmouth Park is. The name and the business has gone up.
Well, the name and the business certainly has gone up, and what it really does, it's going to enable us to save the industry. We're going to be able to increase our racing days. We're going to be able to be competitive with other states that have casino gaming when we do not at racetracks here in this state. It's going to let us bring back our breeding industries. So we're going to extend our season. We'll probably be doing April through December now, instead of a more limited race schedule. And I think the revenues certainly will be here in order to support that kind of structure.
One just last question, and that is, when I come here to bet, or if anybody comes here to bet, are there some restrictions? Can they bet on any team, any game?
No, actually, under New Jersey's law, which is a good thing, you have to be 21 to wager. So you can't have people under 21 coming in here to bet on sports betting. In our racing part of the venue, the law is 18. So that'll be a little change. You cannot bet on a New Jersey college team, whether the game is in New Jersey or whether the teams are playing outside of the state. Although there is a loophole in the bill, assuming that it gets passed that way, that says that if they have a tournament like the NCAA tournament, you'll be able to bet on those games.
I know Senator Sweeney said, Senate President Sweeney said June 28th. Is that what you're counting on now?
I think what the Senate President said was that the legislation would be in place, I think he said June 7th or June 9th. So we're hoping that shortly after that, they'll give us the green light to go ahead. And certainly, I think by the end of June, that's probably a reasonable anticipated date.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I always appreciate you spending the time.
My pleasure.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Dennis Drazin is the CEO and chairman of Monmouth Park Racetrack. Jersey Matters continues right after this. Coming up on Jersey Matters, they're going to try one more time to fine you for using plastic bags. We'll tell you where the legislation stands when Jersey Matters continues.